I talk to other Republicans, they are very concerned about the impact this is going to have on the national deficit.
Yeah. Between this bill and Trump's tariffs, it's his economy.
If you talk to Senate Republicans, House Republicans, they are concerned about what people are going to say when it comes to rural hospitals.
We have another CNN panel discussing the one big beautiful disaster in wake of Trump saying he thinks it'll be so well that he won't even have to defend it come the midterm. So leave us a like on the video. It'll help us out a ton. It gives us a boost in the algorithm. And we're going to jump in and discuss all of this with the context and fact checks needed.
If you talk to Senate Republicans, House Republicans, they are concerned about what people are going to say when it comes to rural hospitals closing, if they lose their benefits. A lot of the bulk of that bill is just keeping things in place that people already had. You're not feeling a benefit of a tax cut this time. And so I think Republicans are going to look really to him and to his team to say, okay, what do you think what is going to work in the midterm election?
And it's not just social safety net programs. It's the phase out of the green energy tax breaks. There are Republicans and Democrats who have enjoyed that.
Exactly. The tax cut for the middle and lower class is non-existent this time around. They're talking about the fact that in the last tax cut, they made it temporary because what they valued was the tax cuts for the wealthy. So if they didn't do this again, your taxes would have went up because, again, Trump did not prioritize you in the first tax cuts. So all that's happening is the 2017 tax cut is extending. You're not going to feel any extra money in your pocket. Kamala Harris actually ran on additional tax breaks for the middle class. Trump, however, again, only added new breaks in for the rich with tax credits for no tips or overtime and a $500 increase on the child tax credit. All of which will expire by 2028. The no tips and overtime, again, are credits, so you're not getting cuts each paycheck, but a credit you can do at the end of the year, of which phase out at $25,000 income level. So you have to be making far under the average income. It's not even for everyone. And for this heaping pile of nothing, we get the largest Medicaid cut, massive food stamp cut. By the way, the only people who are going to be able to get the tax cuts on or the tax credits on tips and overtime are going to be even more so affected by the Medicaid and the food stamp cuts. We have massive infrastructure cuts, green energy investments being rolled back, ICE being militarized to the level of more so than some countries. Like, this is a horrendous bill. And it's hilarious that Trump thinks he won't have to defend it.
We keep talking about, how Democrats are going on the offense on this bill. There's a lot of Republicans who are very, anxious about how this is, particularly on, it's not just the different provisions in the bill that are, of course, going to play differently in different districts and states, but also this idea of more spending. I mean, when I talk to people in the base, when I talk to other Republicans, they are very concerned about the impact this is going to have on the national deficit, particularly the most conservative. I mean, we saw the Freedom Caucus and others on the right really make that their stand. But that's something the president and his team knows they need to run cover on.
They made their stand, but they ultimately caved and they gave him this, even though it had a $5 trillion debt limit increase.
Which happens because Republicans have no real principles outside of enriching their donors. Everything else they push for is just an extension in which they feel gives them a big enough umbrella to win, where they can then do more handouts for the wealthy. It's why Republicans never do infrastructure, anything except massive tax cuts, gun legislation, climate change legislation. It's why historically they add more to the debt, to the deficit. They see less GDP growth, they create less jobs and oversee less wage growth because their focus isn't on the middle class, it's on the top 10%.
Between this bill and Trump's tariffs, it's his economy. We were talking about this with FEMA. Whatever happens in the economy now, he owns that. And I think one of the things that Democrats learned the hard way in the last election is trying to advertise about the economy, telling people what to think about their own economic well-being is not as responsive to attack ads as maybe some other issues. You can't tell people what to think about their own wallet.
Yeah, he won't be able to keep on going and saying it's Biden's fault. I mean, he already can't already. This is mostly his fault. The negative economic growth in the first quarter was directly tied to his tariffs. But I mean, he does, and I'm sure he will keep saying it regardless. And MAGA will obviously buy into it. I can literally already see it now in 2028 when we're all pointing out the many Trump shortcomings and the illegal actions he will inevitably take. MAGA will say, well, yeah, but it was Biden's fault because Trump inherited a mess and you can only do so much in one term and he had to clean it up. And despite him, of course, inheriting a much better situation than he left Biden when Biden came into office, and none of that seemed to matter when they talk about Biden's term. It's because truth and facts aren't what these people value, just which way the wind blows that helps their argument. Fact is only something they'll appeal to if they know it helps them. When it does not, they will outright reject it, say facts have a liberal bias, and they'll give you alternative facts. That is the world we live in.